so that this country can be repositioned on the path of unity, growth, and prosperity. Mr. President, sir, today is one of the happiest days in my life. As I said a few moments ago, up there, after your presidency, we had 3 presidents in this country. The only president you have trained is myself. And I said I'm going to commit my presidency, if I become one, to the continuation of your own presidency and legacy. I thank you very much indeed for this opportunity, Mr. President. May God bless you. May God give you long life, a healthy long life, so that you can see what you have bequeathed to this country. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Let me say it openly that we have reviewed what went wrong, and as you have said up there, my former vice president and, as I said, president-to-be has shown remorse, has offered apologies, has asked for forgiveness, and I said, in the circumstances we are in, forgiveness is of God. If I, as a human being, on a daily basis ask for forgiveness of God, whatever might have been done to me, inadvertently or advertently, I should forgive. And in any case, I have said several times that between me and you, there's nothing personal. I believe that you and I must work together to correct them. Obviously, I have nothing but to forgive and sincerely advise you to learn from the past and do what is right, and it will be well with you. From what I personally know of you, you have capacity to perform better than the incumbent. You surely understand the economy better. You have business experience, which can make your administration business friendly and boost the economy and provide jobs for our youth.
Welcome back. All right, a senior lawyer in the country, Olisa Gbakoba, did say that the endorsement of Atiku by Obasanjo will go a long way to determine the polls come 2019. Now, Mr. Ikem, this endorsement isn't really of any real political impact, in your opinion?
To the extent that it gives Atiku some measure of comfort.
Okay.
Yes. But in terms of looking at the graphs, looking at the map, I would say nothing.
Okay.
If it had come a day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week before the PDP primaries, from which Atiku emerged as the candidate, it could have been speculated that Obasanjo helped enhance it. But before the primaries, of all the generals that we were hearing, made phone calls and did a few interventions that ensured that Atiku emerged, Obasanjo's name didn't feature. We were hearing names of IBB, Abdul Salami, and a few others. Some even had to fly into Port Harcourt, but we didn't hear OBJ's name. So Atiku was already carrying the ticket.
Okay.
So Obasanjo had no option really than
to have done this.
Give this endorsement that had veiled indictments all over every sentence he read there. Because you heard him now say that you have capacity to perform better than the incumbent. That doesn't give Atiku a lot of credit. It doesn't actually say that this man has sterling qualities to excel. But between the rock and the hard place, you just have to make a choice.
You find a middle place. Okay. All right, Mr. Francis, do you agree with Mr. Ikem has a way of suggesting, you know, without actually saying. You know what I mean? Okay.
No, but I think if we follow the history of leadership in Nigeria and those who have been able to come to leadership, you will agree with me that Obasanjo is one man you cannot do without.
Okay.
No matter what people say about him, you know, he's one man that I would say he's one man that understands the Nigerian politics very well. And he knows at what point and at what time to shoot his own gun. Two things. Let us not forget that there are two things involved. It was not primarily an endorsement that they went for. It was a reconciliation between Atiku and Obasanjo, which was actually midwifed by the Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Kuka. Now, for him, it was just let this be, whatever it is, because one thing I keep saying is, all the while, Obasanjo has not come out to tell Nigerians, this is what Atiku did. This is the core reason why they are at each other's throat. He has not, even with his statement, he didn't tell us what Atiku did. He said, it is not him, it's our offended Nigerians. So what is that offense he has committed against Nigerians? Which Nigerians don't know.
The Nigeria is Obasanjo. Obasanjo is the Nigeria that
which
Atiku
Nigerians
offended.
don't know. But be that as it may, I still believe that it was a wonderful endorsement. Like you said, you know, looking at what is on ground, what is around us today, I know that Nigerians would prefer what they call articulation, articulated 2019 as against this present government.
Okay.
And why I'm saying that is that Buhari as a president, as an individual, I have a lot of respect for him. But there are people around him that needs to go if this government has to move forward. It took him 6 months to appoint his ministers and all of that. This is the tail end of this government. No minister has been changed. No service chief has been changed. Come on. Something is fundamentally wrong.
Okay. All right. Mr. Fosse.
Ikem and Chilaka has actually said everything that needs to be said. There is a tree in my village. I don't know the English name, but in my place we call it Ogo. That tree, nobody sits around it and eats the fruit. If you pick the fruit, you must move away to eat it.
Why so?
If you don't move away to eat it, the next one will follow you.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
And Obasanjo can be likened
to the Ogo tree.
To Ogo.
Okay.
Do you know why?
You already told us why. So.
Everybody said Obasanjo does not win election. It is what? But he keep making other people president. If you look at the Obasanjo factor, since he left presidencies in 2007, Yaradua, 11,
Jonathan, yes.
In 2015,
Buhari. Yeah.
It can also be said that he made Buhari, because I just saw recently the picture where all of them line up in that same order to take the picture. He was the only one that wore something different. Obasanjo. He was the only one that the rest was the same attire. Now, what do I mean by all of this? You see, Ike mentioned about numbers. When you look at the voters registers and the rest of it, and I keep saying, the 2011 election will be different. The 2015 election will be quite different from 2019, because 2015 was between the aggrieved North. All right, the aggrieved North. The North were aggrieved. They had the reason why they were aggrieved. They had their son in power who passed on while in power. The power was not transferred to them. So they were aggrieved. Now the North has had their chances. They have had their chances, and Buhari is there today. And don't also forget that Atiku is also a powerhouse in politics in the North. Before Buhari joined politics, he has been playing politics. He had a very good boss, the senior brother to our former president, Shehu Samara Yaradua, who is late today, who handed over that political machinery to him. In fact, the history recorded that during the formation of PDP, Atiku brought PDM,
Which is true.
who made up the PDP and made PDP stronger than even the AD. You know that in 1999, we all in the Southwest voted for the AD. We all wanted Ulu Falaye to become the president, not the Obasanjo, who was brought out of just prisoners at that time. So this man, anybody that underrates him, you underrate him at your own peril.
Okay.
And so, I'm saying that
Nobody in his right mind will underrate him. What happened in Port Harcourt should tell you, speak of the potency of the forces coming from him. He's quite a strategist. He's everything you can think of in terms of springing a bit of surprises, and he has also learned a lot from his serial failures
over time,
and has aggregated that thing to build something of a formidable political. And don't forget also, he's one Nigerian that has also kept the same team for a long time. All the people who worked for him in the past, the likes of Paul Ibe, but for Shehu Sani, that he donated to this government at that time, everybody in his team, in the media, in the strategy, has been the same. So you can't wish away the learnings that these people have garnered from the bruises they have suffered traveling with him, and then coming out now that he has a ticket. He is a force that nobody should wish away.
All right. Let's see how viewers are reacting to this. In 2015, OBJ supported APC government with all his power, and he asked Nigerians to vote APC. Today, a new story, and I observe that this is just all about his interest. The major meeting between Obasanjo and Atiku was based on reconciliation, which up till today, we don't know why two of them have been at each other's throats. Zeal from Isashi sent that one in. All right, this other one just says, let God's will be done.
Not the Akpabio.
Not God's will, no. Rotawo Banjo from Oshu State. Baba OBJ is not a direct man. He will tell you Mr. A is the best. But later again, he will say Mr. B is better than Mr. A. He endorsed to be the best formally. All right, hi Galaxy TV. Thanks for the program. Ignore OBJ and you regret it. Aside that, we all know this government has failed. We need to be Atiku late now. All right, this one, Jonathan from Gambia, you say you are getting poor signals from us. We're sorry about that. I'm sure engineering has heard. They will do something about it. Okay, we have one more topic to look at. Still on Atiku, but this time his choice of a running mate. Peter Obi is his running mate.
He came and Chilaka will best explain.
Exactly. But let's take this quick commercial break. After the break, we'll take the clip on Peter Obi saying a thing or two, and then we'll come back and talk about this. We'll be back.
I woke up this morning. Nothing wakes me up better than a cup of cowbell coffee. Delicious coffee aroma.
How can you forget your lines again?
I'm sorry, sir, just that it tastes really good.
Cowbell Coffee! Enjoy the delicious creamy coffee taste of 3-in-1 Cowbell Coffee. waiting.
Now 30 naira only for the 20-gram sachet.
It is about person. It has nothing to do with the party. It is about person. You know, if we have somebody who has capacity in any of these parties, he will go there and do it differently. It wasn't whether the successes and failures of parties depends on the person. If you have somebody who has capacity in any of these parties, he will deliver. It's as simple as ABC. I'm running for a better Nigeria. We want a better Nigeria. We want somebody who has capacity at the state, at the local government, at the nation. So that we can, all of us, what I want is to be an ordinary citizen in a great Nigeria, not a great person in a failed Nigeria.
Welcome back. All right, according to Atiku's campaign organization, Mr. Obi's choice was largely influenced by his youthfulness, vast knowledge of global and local economics, as well as being a financial expert, all experience which Nigeria is in great need of at this point in time. And they went on to say this ticket will be able to steer our nation back on the path of progress, economic prosperity, and unity. I start from Mr. Fosse. What says you? Yes, I did that deliberately.
You wanted to avoid
I really think that Atiku is on the right path in terms of his campaign strategy. He's talking about economy. And I think if there's anything Nigeria needs most right now, is economy. I think that the choice of his vice, who didn't take a very long time compared to 2014. You remember, it was like the emergence of Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was like when a pope is going to be announced. It was exactly like that. The only thing that was missing in all those things was the smoke.
The white smoke.
The white smoke. But you see a man who just walked in. In fact, I was following him. Somebody first reported it, that on social media, on Facebook, that he has been appointed. So he came and said, no, they were in a meeting. I was following him. Yeah. So I waited. So when the news, when I believed it was when the Punch carried it, and I received the alert that Peter Obi has been actually nominated and made a VP. You see, at this point, I can see a government that wants to move and move very fast, and also not progress in error. Because there is another thing for you to move very fast and progress in error. Because at this point, we don't need too much meetings. We don't need too much moving around, consultation. Like before we started this program, Tilaka told me that some Igbos or Anese and the rest said there were no consultation. And I told them one thing, that consultation they are looking for is nothing. Just now, you are going to make our own person. Can you bring the team? Because that's what consultation is. Okay. I am part of it. I did consultation, and all the consultation I did during my primary was I knew what it meant. So it wasn't just consultation. Okay,
I think we all know what it means. All right, but Mr. Chilaka, I mean, this would have been something for the Igbos to celebrate, you know, but feelers coming from tabloids, you know, says otherwise. Why?
Who are those saying otherwise? There's a saying in Igbo land, we must not forget, Igbo, what is it? It has been a problem, it's there.
What does that mean, by the way?
Yes, the Igbos have no king.
Oh, okay.
So those who gather at this point saying that they're the leaders of the Igbos, who gave them the mantle of leadership? Few people who are disgruntled, people who are, in their mind, somebody wants to be a president 2023. He's already checking who is going to be where. I mean, honestly, when I saw all that meeting they were holding in Enugu, I just laughed. Because we the Igbos, we the Igbos, the masses, we are in support of the decision of Atiku and will stand by it. We're not ready for a consultation that will give you somebody who has no idea of what governance is all about. If you look at the Peter Obi and look at what he bequeathed to Anambra people, you'll be proud of him. If you're an Igbo man and you're not proud of him, then you should hide your face in shame.
Okay.
Yes, you should. And I will say this, like you said, this government has hit the ground running. They've not come into power, but they've hit the ground running. That is what governance is all about. You don't need to wait for you give instruction to your IG, he does not carry it out, you are waiting. You give instruction to this man, does not carry it out, you're waiting. Well, no. We've gone past that level. So for me, I doff my hat for Atiku.
All right, Mr. Ikem, are you on the same?
I think largely what is a good choice.
Okay.
If what the man is looking for is prudent management of resources. But I think the PDP guys, when making the announcement, didn't quite get it right. Peter Obi has never claimed to be a financial expert. His first degree and even postgraduates was not in accounting, or you can't even call an economist a financial expert at this way. So, but Peter...
Well, he was former chairman Fidelity Bank. I mean, if he didn't have some sort of...
He didn't work in
financial
know-how.
He's
an investor in the bank. He's an investor and he was elected by the board to chair the board of directors. That doesn't make him a financial expert. I would have wanted the man to be profiled as a prudent person, which is essentially what we need now.
And what he is.
No, I'm talking about what we need as Nigerians, somebody who will prudently manage resources, judiciously allocate them and spread them evenly and make sure we extract maximum value from every kobo spent. That is a P2B for you. But the problem they are having now is what has started. One is the way even my people accepted him. I'm not talking about the governors now. I'm talking about even the general Igbo people.
Okay, accepted him.
I would want a P2B to be profiled as a Nigerian that has done so much in a small place. Let us trust him with more. But the narratives we keep seeing is this Igbo guy. He's our brother. He's our brother. And the social media has been awash.
No. So I want to decide. Sir.
Wait, let me land.
Let him land.
We're not in court.
Let him land.
We're not in court.
Let him land. Then
So
disagree.
what is happening is that they are creating some kind of tension already between the East and the West, which is not what P2B is. P2B is an exemplary Nigerian. Selling him as an exemplary Igbo man is not doing them a favor. Then those people who met, I wish people would give them the benefit of the doubt to understand them better. Sometimes there was a time Father Kuka said something about that. The problem in Nigeria is that we think in vernacular and try to speak in English.
Which is true.
Those people were actually trying to help the governors, Ekurimado and co, because they, in as much as that announcement, you are free to make a meeting with P2B, agree, but I think in the announcement, P2B is coming from a certain constituency. Those people should take ownership of Peter as their own person instead of hearing it, because the man is moving fast, but he may move too fast. Because whether you like it or not, those who own Peter are the governors of Anambra State, the governor of Enugu State, the governor of Ebonyi State, the governor of Abia State, and well, whoever is in Imo State as PDP. I don't know, Chilaka, I don't envy you.
No. Patience, I need to interject here.
You know, I said it before. Mr. Ike has a way of, he will show you, but don't really say.
I need to interject.
Okay, interject. In 10 seconds.
The problem is this.
In 10 seconds.
When you see people saying Peter Obi is our own, he's an Igbo man, it's because of the position taken by these governors and these so-called elders.
No, it started before the governors.
It didn't start, sir.
It started
no,
before
it
the
did not
governors.
start. No, it is because that these people came out and said they were not consulted. And then, people have to say, look, we do not want to consult you people. This is who we want. It would have, even if it was from the north, even if it was from the west, it's the same thing people would have done. So let us not say Igbos are taking, no. People are saying
I want to bring a perspective to this.
10 seconds.
Yes, 10 seconds.
We have
to go. To this 10
seconds, quickly.
That, you see, don't forget that the Atiku vice president choice has been turned between the west, southwest, and the southeast, and the southeast in particular. The west, the PDP in the west, even non-PDP in the west were clamoring for Atiku to pick the vice president from the west. And the easterners said, okay, this is an opportunity for us to also get closer to the presidency.
Okay, the choice of Mr. Obi is just superb because he brings in his outstanding business acumen into politics, and you see the country's drastic positive turnaround. All right, a lot of messages here. I don't know which one to read now, and time is not on our side. Ola from Ogba, Lagos says appointment of Peter Obi is okay. All right, and I think that's like the general consensus of the people. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. Thank you, Mr. Ike Moku, for finding time. Thank you, Mr. Francis Chilaka.
Brand new.
Yes, he's still basking in the euphoria of
I don't know why you bring him out.
Thank you, Mr. Godio Foster. Thank you for coming. And thank you, viewers, for contributing. We'll be back tomorrow, God willing, at noon. Join us then. Have yourself a good day.